Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there was some what's his name? Greg Manarino clips going around. I always like what this guy has to say. He's real sharp. Listen to this.
There's zero connection between the markets and the economy. No, this exact hand motion is something I've shown people for 10 years. This gap is going to continue to get wider and wider here. Eventually, it's going to get real. But this gap between the market and the economy is going to continue to go off the charts.
Nothing makes
it's just going to keep
anymore.
going and going. There's no connection. What we're seeing here too, it's kind of interesting. You got these corporations here that are laying off people by the thousands. Something I said was going to happen last year. We're going to see this accelerate much further. What are they doing here? They're trying to, just get lean so they can, increase their bottom line by laying off people. Seriously, this is going to get progressively worse, but people have no idea where we're going. Again, it's a deliberate destruction. And the market fundamentals don't matter anymore. Things like forward guidance, PE ratios, balance sheets, all this, that doesn't matter. The market doesn't even price off of that anymore. It's been replaced by a system of easy money, monetizing the debt, and we're going to see a lot more of that moving forward. Now, a bigger player in this is war, an expanding war. This is going to be very, very positive for the stock market. Again, where does this cash come from? Do we have a war chest? Did any developed nation have a war chest? No. The Federal Reserve, in this case, has to make the cash created out of nothing, and so we can fund all this stuff. And the more cash they create out of nothing, the higher the market's going to go.
Yep. And then here's another clip of him right here.
I want to ask you a question on gold and silver. Are you buying gold here, or do you feel content with what you have?
I haven't bought more gold or silver in a long.
By the way, Miles Franklin is my sponsor. In the description of this video, the code's DAI Gold. It's a phone number for them, and there's an email address to get the best pricing. So DAI Gold is the code to use.
On time, I've been buying silver since it was like $8, and gold since it was maybe 700, maybe a little around $700. So I built up a pretty good stash of this stuff. At this time, I feel pretty good with what I have. I'm looking to buy more of this market right now, get more involved in cryptocurrencies here. I think people need some of this in their portfolio. That's kind of
Bitcoin specifically, or do you like what in the cryptos do you like?
I mean, what do people always think about when they hear that word? They think of pretty much one thing, and they think of Bitcoin, especially now.
Then he goes into his whole Bitcoin thing, but I'm not really interested in that part of things. Look at eGreg Crypto. You're not allowed to be positive like this. He says the most complex matters need the simplest solutions. He's doing the 21 EMA monthly time frame, $3.50, $6.50, $27. Look at these percentages. At $27 would be a 4,500% jump. $6.50 would be 1,000, and 500% rise would be 350. If we use the same percentage move from previous instances, A, B, C, here's what we might see next. So A would be that 2017-18 bump. B would be I guess B was the second part of the early 2018, and then C 2021 523%. I like the looks of this. Now, our old buddy Jay Clayton was being interviewed, and this guy kept asking him questions as if the people in crypto are the problem, not Jay Clayton. And he asked him a question: what kind of advice would he give to the crypto community? What is it that we've done wrong? What have we had wrong? And Jay Clayton, instead of his answer being, well, you just underestimated how corrupt the SEC was, he gives this answer.
So if you had, let's say, a feedback or a general advice to the crypto community, do you think over the years the crypto community took the right approach in dealing with regulators? Were we too cocky? Were we too arrogant? Or we was a bit naivety when it came to regulatory matters? And like, what advice would you give to the crypto community in the way they're dealing with regulators?
I think there were two mistakes by the crypto community. The first was to think that the principles of financial regulation and securities regulation were going to change as a result of technology.
Except for Ethereum, right?
I don't think that was ever going to happen. We have too much vested interest in the protection of our retail investors.
Remember, this is the guy that presided over the Bill Hinman speech. They changed the principles, they added a decentralization prong to the Howey test just for Ethereum.
And rightfully so. The ICO boom shows why you need it. $4 billion up in smoke. Okay? The second thing was, once that was realized, that the law was not going to bend substantially, to go for comprehensive legal change rather than incremental change was another mistake.
Do you realize that nobody has ever put a microphone in this guy's face and said, tell us about the Bill Hinman speech and your addition of the decentralization prong on your watch? Nobody has ever made him answer any questions, or Bill Hinman, about any of that.
My advice has been, start with something simple that's proven, like stablecoin. Figure out how to get a well-functioning stablecoin. Figure out how to custody digital assets, whether it's a digital commodity, a digital security, or something else. Let's figure out how to custody it. Then let's figure out how to, if we take those incremental steps, we're going to get somewhere. The idea, the myth that there was going to be great legislative change that was going to revamp the securities markets, the commodities markets, create a new regulator, that was crazy.
So it's interesting because obviously, and I know you wrote op-eds about this topic, about your views on stable coins, and I agree with there's obviously a lot of benefits that stable coins can provide. And I hear you where you mentioned that stable coins, maybe it's a layup that actually community could use because of the benefits are there. But the crypto community, to its defense, I mean, there's been numerous efforts to try to provide, obviously, the stable coin rails, and there's numerous attempts to, and obviously, I'm not talking about algorithmic stable coins and some of the scams out there, but on a properly regulated manner. Do you still hold the same view that obviously stable coins have a lot of potential? And what do you think could be done to bring stable coins more mainstream, if that's a goal that you believe from a policy perspective we should have?
I think stablecoins have immense potential. I think we should facilitate truly stable coins in our ecosystem. The amazing amount of stablecoin transactions that have taken place without a single complaint that I know of, instantaneously across the globe. Are you kidding me? Remarkable. And we should facilitate that. Why has it taken so long? Because people have asked for much more than just that as a start. And you're talking to regulators, and you're talking to legislators that have limited bandwidth. And if you're coming at them with 10 asks and 8 are unreasonable, they're not going to filter out the 2 that are reasonable. And they're just going to look at this crypto community in a monolithic way and say, that's just too hard. That's the reality of the bandwidth in the legislative process.
He didn't say anything about how his SEC likes it's all about holding people over a barrel to siphon off money out of them, or why they let Ethereum go as long as they did. Now here, Kathy Wood,
I don't think
listen
Chairman
to what she says. She doesn't think Chairman Gensler is going to last much longer.
I don't think Chairman Gensler will remain at the SEC, whoever is elected. I think he has aspirations for some kind of political appointment, so he may go for that reason if Joe Biden is reelected. or he may go, he will go altogether if a Republican is nominated. So I don't
All
think.
right. And then Wheezy has gone into Gary Gensler's calendar. It's finally out. Interesting meetings. This guy from IEX. Then here's Grunfest from Stanford. That's interesting. Grunfest is the same one, by the way, that recommended that they don't sue Ripple because it would show favoritism of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Chinese Securities Regulatory Commission. Gary's meeting with his buddies. U.S. Ambassador to China, Nicholas Burns. That's how he's communicating, I guess, with his buddies. And then this guy's the chairman of the FDIC. By the way, CFTC chair says he's concerned about Bitcoin spot ETFs. This is all I know so far. I don't know where this is coming from. I'm sure we'll see more on that. CoinDesk, I'm not going to go into this article, but David Schwartz was interviewed, spoke to the protocol about the aftermath of Ripple's SEC win, his method of dealing with XRP's rabid fan base. Dealing with, more like, you mean the same, you mean dealing with the same fan base that helped in ETHGATE and the whole SEC case? Dealing with them? Thanking them? I mean, you're dealing with them. Eleanor Terrett, she was making a commentary on on a potential XRP ETF. In order to have an XRP spot ETF, there will first need to be a futures ETF. Part of getting Bitcoin spot ETFs approved by the SEC concluded with the CMA, concluding that the CME Bitcoin futures market would suffice to provide surveillance for fraud and manipulation. If XRP gets a futures ETF, then it's a step in the right direction to one day getting a spot ETF. She is correct. I added a couple of things. Apparently, two other qualifications are that you have to either lie about who the creator is and pretend that you don't know about the 4 Satoshis that Homeland Security met with. That's another, I guess, requirement. Or you have to disguise the largest purchasers of, like they did in the Ethereum ICO, disguise those purchasers, never to be known. If you do those two things, then you're in the conversation for having an ETF. Then Wheezy found this is an interesting. He's asking Ash Bennington, the senior host and crypto editor at Real Vision, why Real Vision, the interview with Joseph Lubin and Eric Voorhees, was removed. So apparently there has been an interview removed. That's interesting. And then Jimmy Valley had a great reminder. Did I miss ETHGATE show on Fox Business? Remember, this was from the conversation that Stephen Narioff and Eleanor Terrett were going to have coffee. They did have that coffee, and Stephen Narioff says that all of his information is factual and he has the evidence to back it up. So there's no reason under the sun that Fox Business should not be covering this soon. And so Jimmy Valley is correct. We should be seeing this soon. Then Stephen Narioff this morning, he says, is Ethereum a covert tool for global domination? Uncovering Ethereum's dark origins shows us unprecedented financial scam involving the U.S. and foreign governments with covert global powers. This scandal sheds new light on global power dynamics and calls for urgent accountability in crypto and government. Folks, the very same people that are behind all the corruption we're seeing now, the very same people, these are the same ones that are on board with staying quiet about ETHGATE. Folks, ETHGATE, since we started covering this, very briefly, Fox News and Charles Gasparino and those people started to talk about it and ask questions about it, and then they stopped, and everybody else never did breathe a word of it. Remember Julia Chatterley, the one at CNN? She was all about, she saw what her viewership was like when she was talking to Brad Garlinghouse and covering crypto. And the second that ETHGATE came up and we started covering it, She never spoke about Ripple and XRP and the case, never spoke about any of it again. You couldn't drag her kicking and screaming. And in fact, when it first happened, actually, you know what? I'm going to tell my group. I've never said this. I've never said this before. I forgot all about it. I've never said this before on this channel. But something was said to me. There was a message sent to me when I was asking the questions about ETHGATE and why these people would not cover it. There was something that was said to me, and it just dropped into my head. And I'm going to tell my group. I'm going to tell the group what was said. That's the first thing I'm going to tell them when I go into DAIXRP.com. I can't believe I've never even remembered to bring this up. But I'm going to do it. All right? In the group. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that I've got some other things I'm going to talk about in there too. But this is kind of a bombshell I'm going to drop in there. Okay, here we go. All right.